Riches are our target. When studying the ways to improve your earning and personal financial potential, the focus has been confined, exclusively, to the instruction of how to transmute the definite purpose of desire for money into its monetary equivalent. This treatise is a manifestation manual for money, and while it is true, there is more to manifest than money, we unashamedly adopt as our study, our pursuit, and the education we give to worthy students coming up the ranks, the application of the methods of manifestation to money. Besides, earned money brings actualization. And actualization fosters a life of contribution. From everything I have seen, independent wealth gives you the height from which you have the vision to decide how you would like to contribute to the earth and the inhabitants during your brief stay here. That is a thought of proportions vastly more grand than the daily survival thoughts of the masses of humanity. Need you be reminded? Fortunately, we are not studying the poor, but the wealthy. Truly, with the things that wealth gives you, you can live even after your death. Witness the names written here. Names still resounding in the ears of aware people even 100 years after their crowning achievements played out on the stage of the living moment. Have you heard of the Ford Foundation? How about Carnegie Mellon University, Vanderbilt University, the Rockefeller Foundation? This is just a spattering of the worthy fortunes still working in our generation from the acquisition and investment of wealth. Of course, we acknowledge riches cannot always be measured in money. Money and material things are essential for freedom of body and mind. There are some who feel the greatest of all riches can be evaluated only in terms of lasting friendships, harmonious family relationships, sympathy and understanding between business associates, and introspective harmony which brings one peace of mind measurable only in spiritual values. All who read, understand and apply this philosophy will be better prepared to attract and enjoy these higher estates, which always have been and always will be denied to all except those who are ready for them. Actualization happens when the most highly achieving, contributing people get the most juice out of life. It is necessary to have an independent income to do that. Manifestation and actualization are two important ingredients to fulfilling your desires. Conventional schooling is of no value. It was the Carnegie idea magic formula, which gave him a stupendous fortune and ought to be placed within reach of people who do not have time or resources to investigate how people make big money. It was his hope that I might test and demonstrate the soundness of the formula through the experience of men and women in every calling. He believed the formula should be taught in all public schools and colleges, and expressed the opinion that if it were properly taught, it would so revolutionize the entire educational system that the time spent in school could be reduced to less than half. His experience with Charles M. Schwab, and other young men of Schwab's type, convinced Carnegie that much of that which is taught in the schools is of no value whatsoever in connection with the business of earning a living or accumulating riches. Indeed, it is true. They just do not teach people how to become outstanding, entrepreneurial contributors to society, or how to design and grow your own business. Instead they focus on norming the population. Whether you like to admit it or not, you know it is true. When it comes to acquiring financial independence, not just a better job, a higher rung on the rat race, study after study has detected no measurable advantage correlated to education. Carnegie had arrived at this decision because he had taken into his business one young man after another, many of them with little schooling, and by coaching them in the use of this formula, developed in them rare leadership. Moreover, his coaching made fortunes for every one of them who followed his instructions. The practical value of this philosophy in the chapter on faith, you will read the astounding story of the organization of the giant United States Steel Corporation, as it was conceived and carried out by one of the young men through whom Mr. Carnegie proved that his formula will work for all who are ready for it. This single application of the secret, actualization and manifestation by that young man, Charles M. Schwab, yielded him a huge fortune in both money and opportunity. Roughly speaking, this particular application of the formula was worth $600 million. And that at a time when $1 million was still a staggering sum. Today, in the new millennium, the much heralded 21st century, in the upper middle class neighborhoods of cities around the world, $1 million income is a common thing. Not so at the turn of the 20th century, 100 years ago, when first setting the philosophy of success to paper. Put your earballs on this one. If you were to take the $600 million created from that single idea in 1903 and adjust it for inflation to today, that would be approximately $12 billion. Clearly the realm of Bill Gates thinking, another practical visionary who turned an idea into billions of dollars. These facts, and they are facts well known to almost everyone who knew Mr. Carnegie, give you a fair idea of what the lessons learned may bring to you, provided you know what it is you want.